Laura here. I'm here to do another recommendation video, and I've been promising you guys a science fiction recommendation video. But after I got sick, I took a little bit of downtime, but I'm back because I have officially read all the science fiction arcs in my collection, and that are out so far. And I wanted to talk about a couple of my science fiction favorite series, and also some that I'm looking forward to reading. So the first book I'm going to talk about is the second book that I wind up completing in 2018, and that is Zenith by Sasha Elberg and Lindsay Cummings. I did do a non-spoiler review about this on my channel, and I did do a blog post, but this is probably my favorite of this collection that I'm going to talk about. Definitely my favorite science fiction novel that I read so far this year, but I really, really love this book. I know that there's a lot of divergent opinions on this book, but I really liked it. I love the various perspectives that we got. I thought that it was such a simplistic novel, but it's so complicated when you looked underneath it. I thought the world building was spectacular, and I did not get lost in it, which sometimes happens in science fiction novels. I read Artemis by Andy Weir a couple of months back, and that was like a very heavy science fiction novel that I sometimes got lost in the details, but this did not have that. I really thought that Sasha and Lindsay created such a fascinating world, and I really enjoyed it. It was hard to there were some elements that were a tad predictable, but other elements totally threw me off guard, and I'm really excited for book 2. I did talk about this more in like a wrap-up, so go check that out, but I really liked it. I wound up giving it 5 stars, and I will definitely be checking out the sequel. And what I always say is, don't even trust my opinions, just read the book yourself. It may not be for everyone, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to book 2. Another book that I'm going to chat about that I haven't done a review about yet is Honor Among Thieves, and this just came out in February, and it's by Rachel Kane and Anne Aguirre. The way that this is pitched is like a cross-up between Illuminae, The Host, and The 100, and I definitely see Illuminae and The Host, and I see all elements of them. It's about these 100 children, 100 people that are chosen to go on a space adventure. So it's kind of like the 100, but the reverse aspect of it, because they're going up into space and not going down to Earth. There are some found documents that create this text where you get like outside information, which I really enjoyed. I would have liked to see a little bit more of that. But I definitely did see the elements of like various consciousness with the aliens. I thought that was super cool, and I think that was probably my favorite part of it. It was definitely a slow burn, Honor Among Thieves. Like, I would say it's definitely a slower read, but I was really fascinated. I love the main character of this. What is her name? Her name is Miss Cole. So I can't recall her name off the top of my head, but I really liked her. It kind of reminded me of the character of Faith from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Very hard-hitting, very, very shades of gray mortality. But there was 2 female characters that you follow as their journey is to become up in the space program. I would have loved to see her point of view too, but I definitely like the relationship between the lead character and the AI in this book. It was very different from Illuminae, which I'll talk about later, because I actually really like the AI in this book. And Aiden, I struggle with, because I like him and then I don't like him. But this relationship was really unique and really different. So if you liked elements of The Host but was not the biggest fan of the storytelling or the world building, I highly recommend you check out Honor Among Thieves. I will definitely be checking out the sequel, because I thought it was really, really well done. But basically the premise is about these 2 girls that win the lottery, basically, and get to go up in space and basically go on this space adventure. But there are a lot of dark secrets about what the actual purpose of this mission is, and there are hijinks and drama ensues, and it's just a really, really fast-paced mystery. So I would highly recommend you check it out, and I am definitely going to check out book 2. Is Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I can't recall if I did a video wrap up of this. I don't think I did, because this is the week I got sick. But I wound up going to a book signing, and I wound up reading this. I think in December I read this book, so I read it like last year. But I really needed a finished copy for my collection, because this cover is so pretty. But overall, I really like this book. I gave it 4 stars. And another, like Honor Among Thieves, is a very, very slow burn story, but I really liked it. And it follows Jules and Amelia, and Jules is a scholar who, I love Jules, he was adorable, who is trying to get to the bottom of what led his father astray, and Amelia, who is a scavenger, who is trying to basically save her life, and the life of her family. And they kind of become caught in this really interesting place where they wind up going to this Earth, this planet where they know that aliens are, and because they have intercepted a message, and they follow these messages, and they wind up caught in all these tricks and trials that the aliens have placed for them. So it's basically Lara Croft Tomb Raider in space. Some of the tasks were so interesting to read about. I sometimes get lost in the details of like Lara Croft stuff because it's like hard for me to read. I much rather prefer watching it. I would actually love to see this as a movie because I think I would love it. I really did love the book. It was definitely a slower burn story, but I'm very excited for book 2. The end of the book, there was like a big game change moment, and I was like, oh my god, what is gonna happen? And normally in Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner's stories, they have 2 lead characters in each book. So I'm really curious to see if they're going to continue that in this series, or if they're going to stick with Jules and Amelia, or if they're going to give us 2 new characters. I will talk about their other series later in this video, but I would love to see that because these 2 characters that we met at the end of the book, I'm very intrigued by them. But yeah, overall, I really liked it. If you're looking for definitely a slower burn story, but one that is very intense, not as scary as Illuminae, but I have a feeling it could become scarier in book 2. This is definitely a book for you to check out, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited for book 2. Talk about that I read in the beginning of 2018 is Black Star Renegades by Michael Mordici. This is a science fiction adventure. I would definitely say it's a cross between Star Wars and Guardians of the Galaxy. Basically follows Cade and his brother Tristan at the start of the story, and they are on a mission to get a weapon that will turn the tide in an intergalactic war that they are facing. This weapon, whoever was able to wield it, becomes the savior of this nation. And it takes an unexpected turn when Cade's role in this mission becomes a little bit unexpected, and he is expected to save the galaxy. I found it super interesting. I think it took me a little bit of time to get into the novel because I really love space adventures that have a team, and it took would say until midway through this novel for the team to become assembled. It's definitely an origin story of this team, but I really loved Cade, and I thought that he was such a fun lead character to be in his head. We also did get various other perspectives that were not about the core 3 or the core 4. I love the AI in this book. They were so fun, and I was really excited to see. I felt like it was a very solid book. I know that there will be a sequel eventually, but I felt like it was a very solid beginning, middle, and end. I got so many answers, and now I'm just excited to see where this world goes. But I definitely felt like it was definitely a mass-up between Star Wars, Guardians of the Galaxy, but I love cast of Misfits characters. I just love, I love the Starbound series by Melissa Landers. I love the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I love Firefly, which is a TV show. I love book series that have casts of characters that you don't expect to be able to bond, but they do have all these fun adventures. Especially Illuminae, they also have a cast of misfits as well, and I really, really love that premise, so this was definitely a highlight. I gave it 4 stars. I do have a blog post on a blog post about it. I didn't do a video wrap-up, but that's why I'm doing that here. But overall, I really, really enjoyed this book. If you're looking for kind of a fun science fiction novel, there is I would say it can get a little bit complicated at points, but I think that Michael Mordici was able to explain it very, very easily, so there was less confusion for me in this than a book like Unearthed. But overall, I really liked it, and I will definitely be checking out book 2 when it comes out. Of my favorite existing series that I have read previously, or I'm patiently waiting for other books by these authors. So the first book series I'm going to talk about is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. A lot, and I don't like to give a whole lot of information, but it's basically a science fiction adventure. When these 2 characters' home is bombed, basically, they have to go on a intergalactic mission to not only save themselves, but to save their universe. But it's not told in a linear fashion. It's told through found documents, which I actually really enjoy. Once I finish a book that I'm listening to, I'm going to re-listen to Gemina, which is the second book in the series, because the 3rd book comes out in March, and I'm going to a book signing, and I cannot wait to dive into it. But I really, really love this book. I thought it was so engrossing and so fascinating. Definitely dark. There is a high body count in these books. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. Don't become invested to just about anyone in these books because they will probably be murdered. The AI in this book, especially in book 1, is really, really hard to read about. But I just love the formatting in both of these books, and I was so impressed by it. And I cannot wait to see what they do in the last book in the series. And also, I know that they're working on like another series together, so I cannot wait to hear more information about that. But it's definitely one of my favorite science fiction series that I've ever read, and I'm so excited to read the last book in March. That also includes Amy Kaufman is the Starbound series by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. In my Unearthed discussion, when I talked about it, I said that there is another series they wrote, and every book follows two characters, different characters, but they all are in the same big, expansive story. So by the end of these 3 books, you really feel like you have gone on an adventure with all 6 of these characters. They're all interconnected. The first one is basically Titanic in space. The second one is a little bit more political and military, and the third one is a really great conclusion where you meet some fascinating characters. But I think the third book is definitely my favorite because all the characters have some type of connection to each other. But these covers, as I showed in the picture, are stunning. One day I would love to have all these books in my collection all signed to me by these authors, so that's definitely something I'm going to look into getting once I clean out a couple of my other books so I can have a couple of shelves of completely signed books. But I really, really love this book. I wish I would have read this series back to back. It's my one regret because I feel like a lot of, especially the second book especially, I wish I would have read it closer together. But I really did enjoy this series, and I definitely love their writing style. I'm so fascinated by them, and I cannot wait to see what they give me next. I'm really enjoying the Unearthed series, and I cannot wait to see what they wind up writing again together. But yeah, if you're looking for definitely a big expansive story, it's a very, very complicated world building, but I overall really enjoyed it. I love all 6 characters that we met, and I really do need to read the tie-in novels that I got as a free gift for pre-ordering. So I'm definitely going to be checking those out, and maybe I'll do like a chat about it once I'm done with it, but it is definitely on my list. But yeah, so those are my thoughts about the Starbound series by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. Novel that I have read that I'm going to talk about is the complete Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa series, but I think my favorite book in the series was Cress because it focused a lot on Thorn and Cress. And I just love when they were all on the ship together, when Cress, when Thorn, when Scarlet, when Cinder, and when Prince Kai were all together. And also the last book with Winter and Jason. I just loved when they were all on the ship together. I thought that their dynamics were pretty epic. So definitely the last 2 books in the series are definitely my favorites. But I really did love the science fiction focus and how Marissa Meyer crafted all these stories into science fiction retellings. I thought she did it in such a creative way, and I really did love it. I really did also enjoy her superhero series, but this series definitely is one of my favorites. I think she's a really, really she does retelling so well, so I really hope she does more of that in the future, but I really did like this book series. If you have not read it, the first book is a retelling of Cinderella, the second book is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, the third book is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, which I love. Oh, no, not Sleeping, Rapunzel, sorry, Rapunzel. But I love that book, and that's probably my favorite, and Winter is Snow White. And also there's Fairest, which is a novel about the villain in the story, which is Queen Lavanya, and then Stars Above, which is a collection of short stories, which I read and loved. So I definitely really, really loved all of the books in the series, but definitely when they were on a ship together fighting injustice was definitely my favorite. And I really do need to reread the series. Maybe I'll add it to my docket over the summer. But it was definitely such a fun read, and I really would like to listen to them again. But yeah, overall, this is definitely one of my favorite science fiction series that I'm looking forward to. One is Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston, which is an Anastasia retelling in space. I'm super excited. I'm going to a book signing next week, and I cannot wait to dive into that book. Another book series that I do want to start is the Empress series, which is by S.J. Kincaid, which is the Diabolic series, is another series I would love to start. I know it has some science fiction elements to it. And also Empress of a Thousand Skies is another book that I have on my shelf signed to me by the author, and it's another book that I'm dying to start. And also the last book in the Illuminae series, Obessa, which comes out next month. So those are a couple of the science fiction books that I still have on my shelves that I still want to read. Hopefully I'll get to them soon, and I can do another science fiction recommendation part 2 with those books featured. But yeah, I'll definitely consider doing that. But let me know in the comments what are some of your favorite science fiction books. Let me know on my blog what books you think I should read next in this genre if I like these books. And I hope you guys are having a great day. And make sure you guys follow me on all my channels below because that's where I host all my giveaways. I'll talk to you guys later and have a great day. Bye.